Do
creating
you
it.
do you recall like what advice you were given before you found out on your own what things that a good father should do, especially when they're starting out? I know I see your book, the newest book you've just released, A
Yes.
Dad She
A dad she
Deserves.
deserves. A
Man,
father's guide to love and legacy.
how? I mean, where did you get that from? All the concepts in the book. How did you learn those things?
Well, the book is a practical guide for new fathers, but it's rooted in like personal experiences that I had just had. So like I wrote this book, my daughter, I finished the book. She was, I believe, right after her second birthday, it got published.
Yeah.
So like this book is from the point she was conceived in my fiance's stomach to um, she was like 1.5. And like some of the best advice that I got was being present, because the time goes by so fast. And like there was times where I would sit alone and I was thinking, and I would see my daughter change before my eyes, and like she's getting older, she's learning new things, she's starting to crawl now, or she's starting to like use her fine motor skills and things like that. I'm like, yo, being present was the most important thing that I could do, because like now, like the value that I had for being in that moment and
Yeah.
seeing her learn something new, seeing her take her first steps, like that was like I can't. That's something that like I would never take for granted, Like those were the most blessed moments. So like being present is probably the best advice that I got.
I mean, especially since time goes fast anyway,
Bro.
right?
Well,
If you're not present, then you realize how much of that time you've actually missed.
it's on double time now that I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Like time flies, bro. And it sucks because like there's still times where I kick myself in the butt. I feel like I didn't do much during the day. I'm like, dang, I didn't get to accomplish these 4 or 5 things on my list. But it's also about giving yourself grace too, because like it's not easy working a full-time job,
Yeah.
having a full-time work, like, taking care of a baby full-time. It doesn't stop,
Like that begs the question, bro. Like, I know that, I mean, from one dad to another, right? I got a 3-year-old son. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're going through the same journey together, needless to say. But, one would argue, how you parent your kids is kind of derived from how you were raised from your parents. Do you think that's true, or
I think
in some way?
I think there's some validity in that, because there's things that I really loved about my childhood that I'm definitely implementing into my, raising my daughter. And then there's other things that I'm like, dang, I wish I had this. And so now I'm able to come a lot smarter and more educated when it comes to raising my daughter, because, we got we got the internet at the tip of our fingers. So like,
Oh yeah.
if there's any questions that I have about nutrition, or like what she should be learning at this age, what milestones she should be hitting, it's easy to find that out ASAP. And then it's easy to then take that information and then go search for the resources to, better that for her, for your family. So like, yeah, bro, I'm just trying to get out ahead of it so that I can raise the most I want to say powerful. I want to say I want a powerful human being, but no, it's not about being powerful. For me, I think I just want to raise a well-rounded human being, intelligent, beautiful, smart, kind, loving, attentive young Black woman in America. I want to raise my daughter to be the president of the United States if she wanted to.
Hey, that's the best thing we could also hope for, right? I mean, we want, as fathers, correct me if I'm wrong, we want to be able to give them the values that we have, right? Uphold family values. And so I believe, that's one of the most important things. And even what your book, man, how many new fathers are able to like put that all on paper for who's reading? Who's this for?
I think this book is perfect for the new dads, especially Black fathers. Like, you're going to get a personalized message from a young black man who's grown up in America that, you know, has been through trials and tribulations. But I think it's not just for black fathers, bro. This is going to be a book for anybody who is looking to gain some insight and a different perspective on fatherhood. I take a lot of my personal experiences, and you'll see different stories that that I have in the book. You know, I talk about how me and my fiance, our mindset going into my daughter being born and how we wanted to kind of shape her childhood.
Yeah.
That was a super important conversation to have. And our conflict resolution had to go up a notch because we needed to make sure that we were on the same page when it came to, okay, if we have disagreements, what does that look like? Right. If we have time conflicts, what does that look like? Even the what ifs. What if we break up? What would that look like? Having the hard conversations is sometimes important. So I talk about that in my book. There's going to be there's a portion in the book where I talk about going from a lone wolf to a kingdom builder, and using that analogy of like being a king of your kingdom it hits home for me because I want to raise a young queen, right? I want to raise a queen, and I need to show up as the king every day. Her mom is my queen.
Amen. And that's what I'm talking about.
She's going to learn what it looks like to be loved by a man by the way I love on her mother and what she sees. So I think being an example of a strong man or a man in my daughter's life is super important to me. So I talk about that in the book.
That's a good question here. I mean, you're going somewhere because you mentioned conflict resolution, not something we talk about every day, especially when it comes to relationships, fatherhood. Why do you feel conflict resolution is one of the most important things to master when it comes to being a father and a good husband?
That's a good question. It's important because what your child is exposed to, especially early on, they're a sponge. So what they're exposed to early on is what's shaping their future self. So like the conflict resolution part is being emotionally intelligent on my end to not let certain things stir me up or let my emotions get the best of me, where I'm yelling and screaming in front of my daughter at her mother. And
doesn't look good.
We're blessed because that doesn't happen in my house, but like there's times where things do get heated or conversations get a little bit like
shaky.
Yeah.
So, like life is.
Yeah. And
kids don't forget that.
And that's okay. Is how are things being handled? Are things being handled in a mature way? Sometimes I know my daughter she may not understand the context of what we're arguing about or what the disagreement is about, but I believe she feels the energy. She feels when me and her mom aren't we're at odds. So like I think that conflict resolution, to be able to me and my fiance sit down and be like, hey, this is the problem. How do we attack that rather than attacking each other?
That's dope. How you look at problems that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some people saying, we don't have any problems in our marriage. We don't have any problems raising our kid or son or daughter.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a bunch of bull crap, right? Because what we need to look at is, what's expected, what happens, and how to deal with it. Mm-hmm. What do you say? Like how we deal with the things that just doesn't go our way.
Yeah.
How do we deal with...
That's super important, bro.
Basically dealing with what we have and making the most of it. I mean, how many times does plans don't happen?
Well, that's the thing. Like as a man, you have to be emotionally intelligent, and you have to practice that. You have to study it. If you were never exposed to it, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. You have to take the time and work on yourself, do the shadow work that is going to allow you to have emotional intelligence, especially when it comes to having a family, having the family dynamic, and then also raising your child. So like I also have to learn to be present or patient with my daughter, because she's not always a bowl of sunshine, you know? So like being patient is super important, and being able to realize like she's a kid and these are the things that we have to work through, and understanding that part of it, you know?
That's what I'm talking about. You know what? You mentioned showing up every day.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? I mean, I'm home all the time.
Right.
I mean, what about the dads who work at home, or the
Yeah.
dads who are gone all the time? How do you still show up every day, and how should you show up?
Yeah. That's important, because as a man, it's your job to go out and provide and do the things that are going to push your family forward. I think it's also about being present in the moments that you think that may not matter. You know, so like there's times where it's like, oh, I need to make this post on Instagram. My daughter runs up, daddy, look at this, look at this, look at this.
And you're busy, like, wait.
No, I'm busy. No, move, please, get out of my way. Like, those are the moments that your daughter is gonna know, and she's gonna realize, oh, my daddy thinks that phone is way more important than what I have to say or what I'm doing. So I think it's important to be present in those small moments. Put your phone down for 10 seconds, see what it is. Even if it's nothing, still being the dad to entertain it, to give your daughter the attention and the presence in that moment so that she feels seen and heard. And I think there's a lot of grown women that don't feel seen and heard, and they lash out on their partners or like not on purpose, you know, just because it's something that is inside them that they're like, there was times where I didn't feel seen and heard. So like I'm going to make you feel me. I'm going to make you hear me. So like, and they find means to, you know, either create an argument or things like that. But
it's almost like everything starts at home from when you were young.
Yeah,
you know, like what your dad or your mom did to you or for you.
Yeah.
You subconsciously carry that in your adulthood, how you handle other people, right?
Sometimes you have to unlearn to relearn things, you know?
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
How we grew up it's probably not how we want to raise our daughter or raise our kids or even like show up every day as a human. So like you take the good for what it was and leave the bad and grow from it and learn. So I think that's super important.
Absolutely. I mean, it goes on, it covers a multitude of things, because believe it or not, you know, being a parent, you got to be good at multiple things. I mean, you have to have a holistic approach, not just in basically mastering your emotions, not just in business or entrepreneurship, but your book also goes into those things too.
Yeah, bro. The book makes me excited. It makes me excited, bro, because like this book is really my goal with the book is not only to push entrepreneurship, because certain times, like when people ask me about it, I start diving into the business about it. Like, look, bro, as a man, you need to create multiple streams of income, but in the right way, not like the old, you need 7 streams of income to become a millionaire, and this is how you do it.
Oh,
nah.
Heard those.
I think there's a nuanced way to make money nowadays, and obviously one of those is making money online. That's something that if you can find the system to put in place, do it. But also, you create a book, you only need to create it one time, and then you can sell it forever.
That's right.
So me being an entrepreneur and have started multiple different businesses throughout my life, there's been a lot of times where I've traded time for money. And like, I'm like, nah, that's not what the rich are really doing. As I learned, as I go through my evolution of trying this, trying that, failing, falling on my face, you know, I've realized like, okay, when I first wrote the book, bro, I was living in Florida. We were taking some time away from the city as a family. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to leave behind? What do I want to leave my generations to come? What do I want the world to know about me?
Yeah.
And so
Legacy wise.
What legacy? What legacy am I building? What am I leaving behind?
What am I here for? You know?
What am I here for? And so I'm like, I want to write a book. Like I've always wanted to write a book. I wanted to be an author even as a young kid. Yeah. But it's like, what do I write? What would it be about? And when I had that thought, I'm like, oh, I want to write a book. And then I look in my rearview mirror and I see my daughter. I'm like,
as a reminder,
this is what I need write my book about. So a dad she deserves. And I call it a premonition, bro. This is a vision from God that allowed me to have a clear, vivid vision of what I wanted this book to be about, what I wanted to get across, who I wanted to speak to. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of those pages, I'm speaking to myself, brother.
That's right.
I'm talking to myself about being present, finding the time, creating a legacy, always because there's a financial side to the book too. When you get to like chapter 7, I start talking about what it means to leave a legacy and how you can actually do it. What are the practical steps? Not just like the woo, oh, you should be
the glamour and the flair you hear on Instagram like, and all that.
What can you do today to build a legacy for your family tomorrow?
Practical steps, huh?
Practical
steps. Anybody can do.
It's a roadmap. It's a guide. This is for the dads that like are really serious about fatherhood, that, you know, like, dang, like I'm looking for the resources to be better as a man. Where are they at?
Yeah.
It's right here, bro. Start. It's a dad she deserves.
I mean, think about this. You know? Like even if like somebody is either given the book or someone as motivated as you and I may be to go and find a resource on our own to become a better dad.
Right.
Given that it's life altering. Needless to say, it's already changed you as soon as, oh my gosh, I have a kid, I have a son, I have a daughter. What did that do to your identity?
Bro, it took me from being, like I was saying, like a lone wolf, thinking like every day I need to grind for myself. I want to become a millionaire. I want to have these cars and do this and do that. To being like, oh, well, okay, how will my family look in 10 when my daughter's 10?
Yeah.
Like what is my family going to look like? It's not about me anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's where things changed. The moment I found out my fiance was pregnant, I was like, dang,
it's time now.
It's time to like really lock in on the long term, because I was the type I'd have $100, bro, and spend 40 on a couple of t-shirts, flip them to try to, you know, like I'm like flipping my last couple of dollars, bro, to continue my entrepreneurial journey. But now I'm hustling different. I'm like looking at things in a more long term, and I've also even been diving into career driven a career driven mindset rather than just a entrepreneurial mindset. I'm trying to now transfer that entrepreneurial spirit into my long-term career goals on where I see myself 10, 15 years, even if it's just for that time being, because I'm still going to be building my businesses. I'm still going to be writing books. But to break free from that rat race, like I need to make money. I need to make money to make money.
That makes sense. It sounds like to me you're balancing the best of both. I used to be that guy, okay, hot shot. And this is before, I had my son. Up until I had my son, I was in this hustle mentality. And Adam, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where it's just, I need to flip that dollar. I need to work an ungodly amount of hours.
Bro.
Because it's the hustle culture. And I'm getting on another spiel here. It's almost upsetting because, believe it or not, like, I think we just glamorize the hustle culture. Mm-hmm. How many jobs have you worked? How many hours did you put in this week? And so that automatically becomes, you become a good dad, a good human being.
The summer before I had my daughter, summer 2022, 2023, whatever it was, I literally had 3 jobs.
What?
I literally had 3 jobs. A morning job, a weekend job, a pool job. and a nightclub job. And it's like,
how many hours a week was that?
Just crazy amount of hours. And it's crazy because like I wasn't seeing the progress that I thought I would see. I thought I would be saving hella money doing this and doing that. But like, you know, it doesn't always work out like that. It's crazy that more jobs doesn't equal more money.
Wow. And that's it with the hustle culture, guys. I mean, we don't want to idolize, hey, how much time you put on a certain thing. And then even what you're saying, what you've shown in your life so far and what you've demonstrated on your book is that it's not just about adhering to that hustle culture.
Yeah.
More hours equals more money equals more success.
Bro, you know
what
what
about time for your family? How do you balance that?
It's about intentionality.
Wow.
There it is right there. Because
explain.
Like, bro, the intention on where you put your time is going to be the most important thing that you could do, especially while you're young. You value what's going to really yield those results long term rather than trying to get that short term quick flip, that short term money, or like the short term clout because you got this cool working a cool position or cool job.
Clout.
And like, man, I've even taken a step back from a good job. I was working on the 64th floor of the Delano Hotel.
Okay.
Overlooking the Las Vegas Strip, bro. And like, not gonna lie, bro, I was low-key miserable. I was like, I live in a beautiful city and I have a good job. I'm making some pretty solid money, but like I'm unhappy and I don't see myself doing this for the next 5-10 years to support my daughter and my family. My fiance she had just got pregnant. We actually threw the gender reveal up on the 64th floor. It was player, bro, in a nice little private dining area. And I'm blessed because I have such a valuable network and I have mentors that take care of me and look out for me. So I'm happy for that, but like I knew I didn't want to be a entry-level position, working all these hours to make this money to, you know, be missing my family. And I'm not happy while I'm doing that. So like I made the intentional effort to find new work, find new jobs, and find new ventures that I can use my time to better myself. So like it's super important to be intentional in the house and outside the household is pretty much what I'm saying. Like that's
not just
that's
at home,
big,
but
bro.
outside of home as well.
Yeah.
Because it all plays a role of being a wholesome human being. I mean, I'm sure you felt that your potential was probably being held captive, right?
Held captive,
in that
bro.
job, you know, entry level
Held
forever, right? And
It's
I'm sure you
corporate,
had some more skills, some more things that you wanted to explore.
Yes, brother. Yes. I think that was big for me. Like I'm being confined to this role that is so small, and I seen that there was room for growth, but like not the way that I see growth. And so like I took a step back, took a pay cut, took less days, spent more time at home, but also built, you know, I was able to reframe my mindset to work smarter and not harder.
Was this because of your new daughter? That
Yes,
made
bro.
you,
I think that's
the
really
turning
what it
point for
was.
you?
I was sitting over. I was looking out the window. There was floor to ceiling window, so I'm like standing there. I'm like, dang, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
But like, is this where I want to be for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years?
Right.
Doing this, and I'm like,
That little voice in your head, like,
not
hey,
really, bro.
you know, you have other aspirations, bro.
Yeah. So like, and I knew time was of the essence. I could not wait. I have to be intentional on my next move, and my next move has to be my best move. So, yeah, bro. And I had some humbling moments, bro, because after that, me and my fiance, we had to move out of our apartment. We stayed with her mom for a little bit.
Humbling moment.
Bro, this is humbling moments, right? I'm being real transparent, y'all. And so like, we also moved to Florida. We stayed with her father, so I was staying with my father-in-law, right? And that was a humbling experience. Humbling experience.
You gotta eat dirt, you know?
Humbling experience, man. But what it taught me was the value of what me and my fiance need to do to continue to better our lives, because the time is still going to go by. But what are the little things that we are what are the little habits that we're doing every day to make sure that we are compounding those habits to equal something larger 5-10 years from now?
No way.
And so I'm now back in school.
Okay, check.
When I first moved here to Vegas, I moved here to go to school, but now I'm back going to college. I'm 2 years away from a degree. I'm like, solid, because my next move 2 or 3 years from now, best believe it won't be entry level.
Hey.
And I already have 10 years of experience in the hospitality industry.
Wow.
And being an entrepreneur has showed me what it looks like and what I'll need to do to, make a company better, make a business run smoother, create systems and operations to, because like every job that I've had, I've been a leader of some sort, a lead. So I have the qualities. Now, do I have the backing for this company to pay me $200K to work with me
it's all about,
a partnership?
It's all about building more value.
Yeah.
And I've read some books. I know you have.
Yeah.
And we see things that just stand true even today. Building your value, building the value that you have is the best investment that you can make, investing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's what you're communicating.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because it's so important to, one, what's that thing they say, value stack?
Value stack.
Is it value stacking?
Something like that.
Habit stacking.
Habit stack.
Me and my fiance were talking about habit stacking. But this is allowing yourself to, okay, let's say I need to create better habits for myself.
Yeah.
I want to look better, and I need to.
There's a book on that. There's a book on it, man.
There's a book on it, man.
It's called Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits.
Did you read it?
Habit stacking. That's
part of it.
My fiance was reading it.
Yeah.
I listened to the audiobook back when I was in college.
Okay.
But she was telling me about habit stacking now, and I just thought it was super
That's
interesting.
self-development, bro. That's also part of it.
Super important.
That's good. I mean, speaking of books, by the way, I don't know who has time to read books nowadays.
Man.
I mean, especially if you're like most young adults, like, who's working and going to school and raising their kids. And then, oh, by the way, I got a book I got to read.
Yes.
Bro, how do you who's going to read the book and who's going to read it, and how do they have an audiobook version or
yes?
How do you get this info in?
So and it's because this is going to be, I don't want to go on a long tangent, but like, Isaac, you've been such an inspiration to me, because I actually had the premonition of like what I wanted to have on paper for my book and like the idea. But I was on Instagram one day and seeing that you have a company and you wrote your own book, and it talked about entrepreneurship. It talked about your marketplace and how you can help businesses. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I was like, I need your help. I have an idea for a book.
Yeah, I remember that.
Bro, like, show me the process. And I was so happy, because when I tell you guys, writing a book has been the most fulfilling process that I've ever went through, because it allowed me to get the essence of myself out and then on paper, and then to be able to read it and be like, yo, this is fire. Like, that's exactly what I want people to get from the book.
Wow.
And so we have a hard copy, we have a hardcover, we have a paperback. It's both available on Amazon. Right now I'm selling it on TikTok Shop. We have an audiobook coming soon. We have one that's created, but I'm also creating a read-along version.
Nice.
Read along with the author. So I have like little anecdotes and things like that inside of the audiobook. And so like, I'm just so happy to have created a book because now the business, it's not like it's foreign to me. It's not like it's like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in my eyes. Like I'm an author, and
you're an author
in my eyes,
now.
I'm a best-selling author. So so
the book writing process. So this is for anybody to do, and I appreciate you, bro, because I put my book out there not for basically anybody to really look at yet, but the book that I put is actually for me. It was a proof of concept for me.
Okay.
Because I wanted to leverage and see how I can get my brand voice out there, my identity out there. And it could be used for almost anything.
Can we talk about that for a second? Like,
yeah.
What was your book about? And that proof of concept you're saying. So like, what do you do now as a business?
Man, I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but I'm glad you asked nonetheless, because yes, I do have a book. Right. I practice what I preach. Bro, we were blessed enough to work on your book together. Mm-hmm. And so, being able to, document your experience and put it in a format that is actionable, right?
Yeah.
With me, I did the same thing. We basically went over what happened for us in the past few years. I was blessed enough to have a little early success in the merchant services industry while leveraging AI.
Okay.
And this was early on. This is about a few years ago. Not really much hype or anything, but it's something that I put in effort every single day, brother. Why? I came from sales. I was working 80 hours a week on Zoom as a closer. I was selling business opportunity for 9-to-5ers just like you and I. And I made good money. No, don't get me wrong. I was racking in, 15, 18, 20K a month. I was taking care of my family. I had a house. I looked successful through most people's eyes. But was I happy? No. The reason why? Where was my hours going?
Right.
Where was the money going? Where is the fulfillment? I knew I had skill, but it just wasn't in the right place. You remember that anecdote where you have a car, and if you sell it to a junkyard, you're going to get junkyard prices. If you sell a car to a dealership, you're going to get dealership prices. You sell the car to a collector, well, you're going to get paid a premium. I felt the same way when it came to my talent. It just wasn't valued. So I decided to pull out. And just as you did, I quit. I said, listen, I need to come back to myself and find out where my passion is, what gets me excited, what gets me up in the morning. Because if I don't, Adam, guess who's going to miss out? Guess who's going to suffer the most?
Yeah, family, bro.
The wife and kid at home.
Yeah.
How can I expect them to live a meaningful life, to pursue their dreams when I don't?
Right.
Think about that. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, that was my
How
that
can
was
I
my
expect my son
to
pursue your dreams, and I'm here taking it easy?
Yeah, man.
Playing it safe.
Yeah.
Not me, man. I hit the streets. I found an opportunity to leverage my sales skills, but not only that, I like to help people and provide solutions to everyday problems. That was my passion. I did that for about a few months straight. I tell you, no employment, no nothing. Okay? Just me out there going door to door, offering merchant services to business owners who were shelling out a lot of money. Anyway, long story short, I was able to accumulate enough accounts, enough in my portfolio to sustain my family with passive income.
Nice.
And then that's how we met. Where was I?
Yeah, you were in Colombia, right? Bro, yeah.
That's how it happened.
My guy is a digital nomad for real. He's only in town for a little bit. No.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm like, hey, bro. I'm like, where are you at? I'm in Colombia. What? Yeah. How?
Yeah.
I want to do what you do. Okay. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I would like to help empower you to do the same thing as you're doing for young adults like us. That's what we want.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love it.
That's how it happened, But back to you, man.
I think your story is inspiring because, like, it takes that leap of faith sometimes. Like, as a man, like, you want to have stability. But my advice to the guys that are young and don't have kids yet, like, really take the leap to dive into something with full conviction and put your all into it, study the game, and build that business that you want, that like build the world that you want to have, like, and don't take it easy. Don't take days off. Don't sleep in. Don't waste your time on video games, gambling, too many women, all the fun stuff, right?
Clout chasing.
How
about that? I fell into that.
Trying to be in the scene.
Trying to be up there.
Trying to be cool. Like, sacrifice early so that you could play in your 30s. Like, and like, I've done a lot of sacrificing. And so like, bro, I just feel in my bones, like in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, my life is going to look completely different from where it looks like right now, in such a good way, because I feel like I've created such a solid foundation to stand on. Back when I first started as an entrepreneur, I started my business in 2018, and I was just winging it.
Winging it, huh?
There was times where I'd do it every day, and there was times where I wasn't. There was times where, that happens. But like, I didn't know. I didn't have the right guidance. I didn't have the mentors. I didn't have the resources. And so like, me writing this book, I hope to give young dads the resources and the mindset that you need to really build a legacy, brother.
So like, let's say I get the book, I read it, I learned a lot. But what's next? Is there like some sort of community?
Yes, man.
Or is there more to look for after the book? Or...
Yeah. And I think you guys can take take the lesson from our conversation and us doing this right here. Because yes, Adachi deserves the book, but we are also creating a community, an online community, and a in-person community where we'll throw live events. And so this is all in the building stages, right? We're going to create a Discord that allows us to have a community, and in hopes down the line, a Patreon, a school, a classroom. But we will offer these moments where dads can get together and share information, resources, and build each other up. And then those in person, because we do live in the entertainment capital world.
That's right.
I want people to come from all over the country to Las Vegas for, maybe a men's conference or a men's a retreat. And we work out, we do workshops, we continue to grow and build as men, and we create something that is going to be long lasting. So that's those are my big goals.
This is huge. Do you know why? Because what if greatness starts at home? And so what you're doing here, Adam, is that you're spearheading that by rounding up the fathers, right? New, old, whatever, that wants to be better. And you're giving them a resource. You're giving them a community. And we're still all learning this. I mean, you're a young dad. We're learning as we go, right?
Yeah.
And you're just starting a movement because, again, it starts at home. Where does all the organizations come from? Where does the companies come from? Where does anybody come from? They come from the household.
Yeah. It starts at home.
It starts at home.
The foundation, yeah. And I think there's also like something I wanted to touch on is like, as a Black dad, man, there's been this narrative, like even as I was young coming up, in some of the textbooks they teach you, Black dads have systematically been put in prison, the war on drugs. They say it's really the war on Black people. But like, for example, like I had this situation where me and my fiance went to eat and she was pregnant or whatever. I believe she was pregnant. She went to get the food and the owner was there and she said, "Oh, he was really nice." But like something kind of threw me off. He was like, he pretty much made a reference saying like, "Oh, you single mom," or like like I'll give you a job. You're a single mom. I'll help out and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, what? She's like, no,
almost like they're
my
assuming
man's
that
in the
you're
car.
financial hardship. They're
I'm like,
assuming that,
bro,
right? That's what
I'm
it seems
like,
like.
what's up with? And and it just brought me to that stereotype of like, oh, black dads aren't in the house, or like your dad left for milk and he never came back. Like, nah, bro,
Nah, man.
that is a narrative that we are never ever going to take and internalize, because I say this all the time. All my homies, all my friends, they're in the house. They're
present.
They're present, bro. They're doing the little things every day to make sure that their family is.
Do you address those stereotypes and how we should think about them?
I'm addressing that stereotype in the book, bro. And then like that is something that we are changing, because, bro, black dads, we are now looking to be the, what is the word?
You're talking to the next generation of young black dads.
Yeah, bro.
That's carrying different values.
Yeah.
And basically, they're the answer to those stereotypes.
Yeah.
It starts here and now.
Yeah. Because I have friends that grew up single parent households, and I've seen how that affected them and how it still affects them today as they're grown. But like, those are the friends that are most important to the new narrative.
The new narrative. I love it. I love it. This is the new story.
Like, you're not your father, my guy.
Yeah.
And you need to show up every day as the man your kid deserves, because though you didn't have that experience of having a man in the house to do this and do that and be there to love on you and your mother in times of need, you are the change that the world needs.
You can say that again. You are not your dad. It's time for you to start a new story.
That's what it is.
That's a good way to escape bad habits, and you may even call it generational curses. It's a good way to escape it with a new mindset that you have a new story and it starts here.
Yeah, and this book is the roadmap. It's a roadmap that you can utilize to give you different ideas on like little things. Like, for example, I talk about the idea of early development for your kid is super important.
Crucial.
And as soon as my daughter was born, I was like, okay, what are the things that we can do to start early? Because like, I'm big on that, bro. I was an athlete as a kid growing up. My first sport was soccer, stuff like that. But like, I was like, my daughter's 3. She's 3 months old. What do we need to do to get her started early? Yeah. And so by the time she was 6 months old, we had her in a swim class with an instructor, and we were, working her feet. The whole process of getting her into swim helped her with her cognitive development, her fine motor skills, her learning how to use her limbs and kick her feet and things like that. Get water in her face and not be phased. We dipped her every single chance that we got. So
what, Adam?
It's like, those are the moments,
wow,
that create a kid that is going to see a problem and work through it. Now my daughter, she gets frustrated and stuff, but like us putting her into these sports, it allows her to see progress happen and see those things compound over time. Her showing up every week has allowed her to create a routine that allowed her to see her growth.
Do you think you could, like, based on everything you're saying, it kind of makes me excited being a new dad now.
Bro,
I don't even know how or why, but do you see yourself talking to young fathers who need somebody like you to go and give them some advice, some encouragement, a resource even? Do you see yourself talking to these new dads here?
Yeah. My goal is to get on way more podcasts, way more interviews, talking about this information, because I think us as dads, we need more men out here talking about the nuances of being a dad, sharing resources, sharing information that could really help. Because like, sometimes we don't know like the next step, and we're focused on.
We're by ourselves most of the time.
We got work.
Yeah.
my girl wants to have a date night every week.
And we're by ourselves. We're like, I'll handle this on my own. I don't need to talk to anybody about being a better father. And you're right.
But you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. So, I mean, guys, I don't know about you, but if you're looking for a resource, a community, a place where you're heard, but you're also held accountable and you're given the tools by someone who's living it every day, I highly recommend. I already got the book, bro. I just don't have to read it. You know how it is. But I'm getting that audiobook because I'm on the go.
Yes.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. If you're new, you're old, you still want to learn to be better, it's on there. A Dad She Deserves. Adam, where's the best place for them to find you?
Yeah, man. You can find me on Instagram at adammiles.mov. It's movie, but MOV. And then you also can find me on TikTok and Instagram at A Dad She Deserves. A Dad She Deserves.
That's right. And you know what? I don't know about you, but if anybody wants to learn how to start and get their voice out there and get their first book out there, we may even talk about that next.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, brother, I'm super.
Where can they find you? Where can they find you?
Yeah.
If they want to build a book, bro, where can they do it at?
So, if you guys want to get your brand voice out there, just like how Adam Miles did, you can follow me on Instagram, Isaac Imani Martinez. I put my full name on there. You're gonna see me pop up. It's a purple profile, but anyway, I specialize on that. And let's help the community.
Man, and I want to take a second to shout out the Pod Place. This place is beautiful, bro.
It's dope.
It's super dope. The couches are comfortable. Quality equipment. The aesthetic is there. Like, you guys that work behind the camera are super helpful, bro. I was just showing Isaac the BTS that they already posted and collaborated.
This is impressive.
It's impressive, man. And I love it. And I appreciate you guys for everything that you're doing for the community here in Las Vegas. Like, shout out to the Pod Place.
Pod Place.
Book you guys a session. And, yeah, man.
And get on the pod.
Get on the pod, bro.